Hello, welcome back to my channel. We are here for another video where I talk about my personal goals and share my goal journey with you, what works and what doesn't work. And I don't share these because I expect you to have the exact same goals as me, because you probably don't. I share this so that you can hear about a real person with real life and real struggles and real commitments, and how I set my goals and how I adjust when things work and when they don't work. So this month we are going to recap May and all the things I accomplished and did not accomplish in the month of May, and then we will move into June. So let's start with the one-time action steps for May. The first one was to take one workout class, and not only did I did it, but I took a dance class, which felt like an even bigger milestone, like getting back into a dance class after, I don't know, 18 months of not having taken a dance class. Okay, maybe it wasn't quite that long. It was last January was the last time I took a class. And it was amazing. And I'm so glad that I prioritized it and made it happen. I actually did it over Mother's Day weekend. It was like one of the things I did for myself over my first Mother's Day weekend. The next one on the list was to go on one Chicago adventure, and we also checked that one off with Mother's Day. There was a new place here in the city called Chicago Winery that opened up recently that my mom and I had talked about visiting, and so we decided to make that our Mother's Day activity. The next one on the list was to finish 12 monthly tasks. And as of the filming of this video, I have not done that. I have obviously made progress on that, and you'll see that down in the weekly section. I may get to that one before the end of the month, but I may not. I usually say this at the beginning, that I'm filming this video on Wednesday, May 22nd. Usually this is about the time of the month that I film this video. It's the second to last Wednesday. That's just how things shake out based on my editor being able to do her piece of it and then getting it up for the first Monday of the month. And I've gotten used to that, like checking in with my goals on what feels like a slightly earlier timeline than I probably would if I wasn't filming. That said, we leave tomorrow to go out of town. We're gone until the 29th, and then as soon as we get back, we have company coming for a couple of days into the beginning of June. And so to me, does kind of feel like the end of May. Now, I do hope to get to a couple monthly tasks both today before we leave and next weekend to kind of kick off the month. So I still could hit that, and I would give myself the check mark. To be honest, I have struggled in the past with continuing to like update my goals once I have filmed this video, because I'm like, well, I'm not gonna share them with anybody. And like, while that is part of it, like I do work on my goals and I like to share them with you, that's not the bigger reason, right? I'm working on my goals to work on my goals. I just happen to share them. And so I've been trying to encourage myself to continue through the end of the month and check everything off and follow through, even though I'm done with this video. One thing that has helped with that though is that I actually share weekly updates for my goals during the live chat. So if you have never joined one of my lives, if you can't join live, they're on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I understand that that is not a time frame that works for everybody, but you can always catch the replay, and those lives include an update on where I'm at with my goals for the month. I literally share a screenshot of this page I take it the morning of the live. I also share a reading update where I'm at with my reading goal for the year and what books I finished and my thoughts on them, etc. Then there's a teaching point for the week. I'm sorry, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here. And there's a teaching point for the week. You can always see the topic of that in the title of the video, and then I open it up to Q&A. I have been trying this year to do a better job of putting timestamps in the description. So if you just want to watch the replay of the live to see the update on my goals, you can totally do that. You click it, go to the description box, and you click the timestamp that says goal update, and you can just watch that piece of it and still see my progress throughout the month. Okay, let's keep going. The next one was to plan out the cleaning routine. I haven't done that. And this one and the next one-time step, I have decided I'm just moving it. Well, actually, that's not true. This one I'm moving into June. What did I write down for my quarterly goal? Implement a cleaning routine. And it's taken me 2 months and I haven't even made a plan. It's not that I'm not cleaning things in our apartment, by the way. I feel like I need to say that. But I just like, it doesn't feel like an overall routine. So anyways, I went ahead and moved that one to June. The next one was to watch a video about the air fryer. And I think I put this action step down because in my head, it seemed like a good action step for the quarterly goal. But I kept putting it off, and so when I was setting up my June goals, I finally asked myself, like, why do you keep putting this off? Do you actually want to do this? Do you actually think it would help you achieve your goals? And I finally decided, no, this is the kind of thing that I'm gonna learn better from doing as opposed to watching a video. So I just let that one go. And then the last one-time step was to do a 15-minute organization of our kitchen. This was my Q1 focus. And I talked about this in some video or some live, actually it may have been last month's goals video when I was explaining this, the kind of difference between like a triage, like overhaul of a goal and then kind of a maintenance. And this was a little bit more of a maintenance step. Did that, felt good, set the timer and got everything I needed to get done. Moving on to the weekly step. So in last month's video, I went on a little bit of a tangent, kind of talking about how I was pushing myself too much. Like I was going too from where I was at to where I was trying to get to. I was doing too much in terms of workout goals. And then I also talked about how I don't want to do both minutes and days. I really want to figure out which one works better for me and do that one. And so in that video, I said, I went ahead and wrote them down, both of them down for May, but I'm going to cross one of them off. I didn't end up crossing them off. I kept days the same and I lowered the minutes. And you can see that days, except for last week, which I was sick part of the week, so that feels good. I've hit and I am on track to hit this week. And then minutes, I've also hit. That said, I don't think I need both, and you'll see I only kept one in June. The next two were continuing on the monthly and the weekly tasks, so to do 2 monthly tasks a week. Sometimes I did it, sometimes I didn't, and then weekly task was to do 7. I have not done that any of the weeks. It's just been, there's been a lot going on around here and I haven't consistently done all 7. Sometimes I haven't needed to do all 7. And then some of it was a domino effect. I need to do another step to do the next one and I didn't do the first part. So you can see by the little numbers, I'm still making progress on this goal and that feels good. And then the last one was to use the air fryer and I've done that every single week. Again, I think the best part or the best way for me to achieve the goal of being comfortable with that tool is just continuing to prioritize using it. Moving on to the daily steps. So the first one was working out, and this was just more of tracking for me and to be able to see the progress, and it was helpful. I'm actually not carrying this one over to June because, spoiler alert, June is busy, and so I have decided to, out of necessity, I cut some things. And so even though I left a workout goal in the weekly section, I did not leave it in the daily section, and as I am saying that, I wish I had done something different. All right, we'll see. We'll talk about that when we get to June. The next one was my PM routine, and that one's actually been going pretty well. I know it doesn't maybe look like it on paper. There aren't as many check marks as you would think when I say it goes well, it's going well, but it feels better. It feels like the days that I actually have the capacity to do my PM routine, like the days I didn't were days that I either stayed up too late, like we were out doing something, or like it wasn't the kind of night that lended itself to an evening routine. And for me, the PM routine is more about preparing myself for the next day. And while I would like to say that I'm gonna do it when I come home from the theater at 11 p.m. at night, I'm just not. And so, to be honest, it felt good in the month of May. It doesn't mean I'm not carrying it over into June, but it still felt good. The next one was to go through photos. And this one I'm struggling with. 2 reasons. One, I clearly didn't do it every day. And normally that wouldn't bother me. But with this one, what bothers me about it is I'm probably not gonna hit my quarterly goal. There's no way I'm gonna get through all of them by the end of the quarter with what I have going on in June. So I have tweaked that slightly in June to adjust for how kind of that I'm struggling with that. So, well, I guess we'll talk about that more. I feel like this video is constantly like, here's a thing, but I'm gonna talk about it more when we get to the next month because I feel like I'm jumping the gun if I talk about it in the May section, you know what I mean? Okay. The next 2 were related to spending less time on my phone. So it was the Instagram limit and the PM cutoff. And I had talked in last month's video how I increased the limit and I delayed the PM cutoff because I wanted to see some more progress. And to be honest, I don't know that I really have any more check marks on the Instagram limit now that I look at it, but it also, like, the PM routine feels better. It feels like when I do overwrite it, it's like at the last point of the evening. And in an ideal world, I wouldn't overwrite it, right? If I hit the limit at 8:30 p.m., like, I'm just done. I've had enough Instagram for the day. Sometimes I just want to go on Instagram one more time for one final scroll. And so I bet, and maybe I will do this math. I have to do the math because I want to figure out my number for June. but I bet my overall average for May is still lower than it was for April. And I probably will calculate that out when we get to the end of the month. I'm gonna calculate what my average was for April. I did that calculation. I just don't know if I've saved the number anywhere. And then I will calculate my average for May. My guess is the average went down, and then I'll pick a limit for June based on those numbers. The PM cutoff though, that one's been going really well. That one has been going really well and it feels good. I'm not going to bring it up at all because it felt right. And really the days that I went over it were days that I was out late doing something else anyways, and I wanted to scroll Instagram on my Uber ride home. And then the last one is the weekly task. This kind of like the workout was just about tracking it and kind of seeing the progress and encouraging me to do it every day, Monday through Friday, to kind of stay on track with the 7 for the week. I'm not carrying this one over to June for the same reason I'm not carrying over workout. It just doesn't feel like I need both the weekly and the daily section anymore. And I have enough going on in June. So overall, I feel good about May with everything else that we've had going on. It's been a really, really wonderful month. We've had a lot of fun things happen. I saw 2 shows, celebrated Mother's Day. We celebrated my sister's birthday over the weekend. We're celebrating more today because today is her actual birthday. And then we're going to New York. And so I was just telling a community member this on one of our coaching calls last night. She is going on a huge trip in July all across Europe and is going to be gone most of the month. She was like, so I feel like I have to do more in June to make up for the fact that I'm not going to do anything goal related in July. That is not how I want this to work for you. I don't want you to feel like you have to cram in months where you have less going on to make up for the months that you have a lot going on. That's just life, and it's always gonna fluctuate. Your progress is always gonna fluctuate, and that's okay. All right, let's move on to June. So before I share my action steps with you, every weekend in June, we either have company coming or we are gonna be out of town. Every single weekend. So that impacts a lot related to my goals and my life. And so I simplified a lot. I also didn't really add anything new. I think there's one new thing on this list, and it's not really even that new. Otherwise, it's gonna be a lot of the same, but I'll talk through some of the slight changes I made that hopefully will help me with kind of my mindset. So the first one is to take one dance class. And you might be thinking, really? With all of that company and that travel, you're gonna take one? Yes, and I'm gonna take one during the week is really my goal. I should have written that down. I understand it's not gonna happen over the weekend, and that's okay. They offer weeknight classes, and I can do that. Like I wanna prioritize that in the month of June. The next one is to also go on one adventure. With company coming, I anticipate this one won't be that difficult. There's nothing scheduled yet, but with 3 sets of company, I feel like we can check this one off. And then the next one is to do my 12 monthly tasks, the same as the last couple of months. And then the cleaning routine. This is like to make the plan for the cleaning routine. It will likely come as no surprise when my Q3 goals also include a cleaning routine again. Okay, moving on to the weekly steps. Like I said, I took out workout minutes because I realized that was not the focus. To me, it's about prioritizing it on a regular basis. And I understand that doing 3 10-minute workouts and doing 1 30-minute workout are the same thing. Like it's the same amount of minutes. But doing 1 30-minute workout and just like pushing myself super hard that one day and then being like, okay, I'm done working out for the week, that's not the mindset that I want. I would rather do 3 10-minute workouts. So that's why I took minutes off of the page. Now, like I said, I also took workout out of the daily section. And so what I wish I had done was put workout 3 times, because my goal for June is still gonna be 3 days. I wish I had put workout, workout, workout instead of workout days. It worked when I had, not to use that word a million times, when I had it in the daily section. I'm frustrated at myself. So we'll see. It is possible that I reprint this and rewrite it, and you'll see that in next month's goals video. It's also possible that I just do what I did in May and like write the little number next to it and be okay with that. For the days that I do 1 or 2, I want to still see that I did something. The other 3 weekly action steps are exactly the same as they've been for the last couple of months. I know I said this last month, but sometimes your goals are just boring and sometimes you just repeat the same things over and over again, and that's okay. So 2 monthly tasks, 7 weekly tasks, and using my air fryer. Those are my goals, my weekly goals for June. All right, moving on to the daily items. So the first one is the same as last month, and I think the month before that, and that is to not hit my Instagram limit, or at least not overwrite it when I do hit it. I haven't figured out what that number is going to be, but I will get to that obviously before June starts. That's one of those things that I know as of May 22nd that I want it to be on my June goals because of like I know that I'm not ready to take it off, but I don't have to decide what the number is gonna be until the end of the month. The next, I did take off PM limit. So the 3 goals that I removed were workout and weekly tasks, which were really more tracking. And then I did remove PM limit because I feel like that's going well. I don't feel like I need to move it up, but I also don't feel like I need to keep it. Let's talk about photos. So I did keep photos on my daily habit, but I took away the number because ultimately, well, for 2 reasons. One, I'm not gonna hit that quarterly goal, like I said. So there's no point in having a number. If I really calculated what I needed to do in June to hit that number, it would be unrealistic. There's no way I could do that every single day. I'm probably not gonna do it. So instead, I had to put on the mindset of, I want to make progress. I want to make progress on this goal, even if I'm not going to hit it. So I took away the number. Also, because the number that I had on there took a decent amount of time depending on what set of photos I got to. And I think I talked about this at some point. When I'm going through photos on my phone, I'm using an app called Get Sorted that I absolutely love. I highly recommend this app. And it basically what you do is when you hit photos, you either swipe, I can't even remember now, if you swipe up to keep or down to keep, and then the other one is to delete. And then when you get through the end of the month, you can batch delete all the photos that you said to delete. And sometimes I hit sections that are easy. And it's very easy to be like, delete, delete, delete. Like I don't need, if I hit, like when I take a picture of this to include in the thumbnail, I take like 17 of them. And I only use one, and I can always see which one I use because it's the one I added the filter to at the end. So I can easily delete the other 16. When I have 17 photos that are humans, it is so much more work to go through those 17 photos. It takes me a lot longer. So there were days that I wasn't hitting the number and I was feeling discouraged because it was taking longer. And I just don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel that discouragement. Is that a word? I want to feel encouraged to work on it, even if I only get through 100, but it was 100 tough photos. I also realized that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to do it in my morning routine. And if I didn't get to it then, or because I didn't have time or it was feeling like too much, I just wouldn't do it. And I don't want that either. If I then have 5 minutes later in the day to go through photos while I'm waiting for something, not even 5 minutes, 1 minute while I'm waiting for something in the microwave, I want to take that 1 minute to go through photos. And it means that I may only get through 20 photos that day. That's still progress. I want to continue to make progress without the pressure of a number. So I took the number off for June and we'll see how it goes. All right, PM routine I left on here, even though, like I said, I feel like it was working in May. I'm not ready to take it off. I'm not ready to remove that check mark in order to continue to prioritize it. And then the last one is the one new goal that I added for June, and that is to read before bed. So I have been doing this. Well, let me take that back. I was doing this. So if you watch the live videos, I've been talking in the lives about how I finally got into A Court of Thorns and Roses and finished book 1 and have moved into book 2, and I love them. Like I think they are fantastic books. And I was doing a good job of reading before bed just because I was excited to. And I told myself 1 chapter, that's all you have to do. Then things got busier, and by the time I was getting in bed, I was just exhausted and I didn't want to deal with reading, even though it is relaxing, it is for fun. And so I started just watching Netflix before bed. It also didn't help that I was trying to rewatch Bridgerton before the new season came out. So all that to say, it was something I was just doing in April and the beginning of May, and then I kind of just stopped doing it. So I put it down as a goal for June to encourage me. 1 chapter is all I have to do. I mean, truthfully, even if I open it up and I only read a couple pages, I'm giving myself the check mark. There's no, like the photos, there's no number limit, there's no minimum. It is just reading at least something in my fiction book before I go to bed. And that's it. Those are my goals for June. I feel like this video is on the shorter side compared to some months because it's a lot of the same from prior months, and it's very simple because I have so much going on in the month of June, and that is just how months are. I know I talk about it all the time. Your progress is not gonna be linear. In fact, I did a whole live on it. I did a live called The #1 Mindset That's Making You Not Achieve Your Goals, and that's what it is. Your progress is not gonna be linear, and that's okay. May was a lower progress month. June will be a lower progress month for me, and that's all right. small progress is still progress. So that is gonna be it. I want you to let me know down in the comments what is one goal action step you have set for the month of June that you are really excited about. Let us know down in the comments so that we can cheer you on and encourage each other. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, welcome back to my channel. In a great out both workout